Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Season Ticket Holders. I'm your host, Dane Lillingstone, and it's a massive year of the UFC. It's coming to Sydney in just a few weeks' time, and the first card of the year, is on this weekend. For more, I couldn't think of anyone better than to bring in our resident UFC expert. He's a videographer extraordinaire, known for multiple trips to Muay Thai training in Thailand. He's about to have his first fight, I'm sure, very soon. He's been cheating on me in the off-season, hanging out with Alexander Volkanovski without my knowledge. He's too good for me now. I think I heard he's going to start his own podcast, but we are going to be watching UFC 325 together. Welcome back to the show, Tommy Hayfield. Tommy, how are you, mate?
Wow, what a wrap, what an intro, what a way to start 2026. Season ticket holders, we're back. Thank you for having me on, Dane. I'd never cheat on you, but if I ever did, Volk would probably be my first guest.
And let's be honest, you did. So you did get to catch up with Volk recently without my knowledge. How did it all go? How is he?
It was awesome, man. So basically, the Paramount era, Channel 10 in Australia, has the rights for the UFC, well, at least the prelims in Australia, and he was doing a shoot at the Pimblett studios at Channel 10 there, and I was working that day, and a good friend of mine and the boss at Channel 10, Chris Newport, was doing a shoot with Volk in the studio, and he said, Tommy, come up and meet him, come and help me. So I just sidled on in. He was in there with all his crew and his posse, and I was actually wearing an Engage shirt on the day, so I was dressed the part and ended up introducing myself and saying hello and having a good chat with him. And he had the belt there, and he let me hold it, Dane. It was cool. I put it on my shoulder and we got a photo together. And he said, "Nice shirt, man." And it made my week, man. I was stoked. He's such a legend. He's so just normal and approachable, and just everything you'd expect from him. He's a really good dude.
So you're a suck up and a cheater, and now you're rubbing it in. Thanks a lot, Tommy. No, I know Volk's a good guy, mate.
Did you get to hold the belt? Did you get to hold the belt, Dane?
No, I didn't. I got to do it at the casino a couple of years ago, but Volkanovski unfortunately wasn't there. But I'm very happy for you, mate. I know what a good guy he is, and obviously the fight is coming up. I did have one shirt story too. You're talking about Engage. Sharma, baby, because my shirt has been returned. If you're a fan of the podcast, has returned from Colombia. So muchas gracias to my familia in Colombia, my partner's family, who did find the shirt at their holiday home and send it back. Sharma, baby, let's go 2026. Now, I didn't get to catch up with Volk. I'm not on a high as level as Tommy is. He's above me now. I did get to catch up with Diego Lopez, his opponent, who has decided to spend an entire month here in Sydney before the fight's coming up. Now, I caught up with him down at the harbour. He's been doing lots of touristy promotions and that type of thing. He's flown about 10 people, he said, from his own camp, which I imagine would cost him a bit of money. They're trying to, I don't know if you'd say acclimatise, but they're here just to get the lay of the land here in Sydney. He loves Australia. He's been here once before. So they're trying to do everything they can to obviously change the results in this rematch. Good luck to him. I've got a few friends who think he's going to give Volk a good show, but I still can't see our boy going down anytime soon, mate. But he looks very comfortable. What do you think of him coming down like a whole month earlier, sort of just trying to, I don't know, settle into the surroundings for like an entire 4 weeks out from the fight?
Yeah, it's massive. I feel like not many fighters come that early. Either he just must like Australia and want to make it into a bit of a holiday, or he's acclimatizing. He doesn't want Volk to have that home ground advantage. He wants to be here and settled and no jet lag. But yeah, a lot of money to put your team up for that long. Of course, they get smoked with tax here as well. So yeah, man, you chatted with him. You asked him all the tough questions. What did he kind of have to say to you about it all?
Look, he is a very humble, nice guy. Like, it's the second time I spoke to him now. First time was on Zoom, but he's not trying to sledge. He has apologised several times in advance for Australia. He says, sorry, Australia. But he only respects Volk. He's only spoken highly of him, said he's an inspiration to him and the division and the whole fighting world. So he's coming in with a ton of respect. He thinks he's made enough adjustments to change the results in this rematch that's going to kick off the second pay-per-view of the year. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, mate. See if he's hopping with kangaroos and eating Vegemite. Who the fuck knows how he's going to go. But good luck to him. He is a nice guy, and he reckons he's similar to Australia. He's got his little mullet and everything. He sees himself in a lot of people he's seen here, so good on him. And the other fighter I got to catch up with was Quillan Soulkilled. Now, you might remember that awesome head kick knockout he had last year. He had 3 wins in the UFC to win UFC Rookie of the Year. Now, he's had a replacement fight. He's going to be fighting Jamie Malarkey. They don't normally do all Aussie, sort of all-nation showdowns when they're in someone else's home yard, but they are deciding to do this because they had to pull out. So that's going to be, I think it's going to be the main prelim for UFC 325. But coming off that head kick of Nasrat Hasparast back in October, he had a decision win before that, and he had another first round finish in 19 seconds back in February. So that got him UFC Rookie of the Year honours with 3 impressive wins, quickly rising up the ranks, the lightweight fighter. So awesome to see, mate, and that's going to be one to watch definitely on this card. So pretty exciting, mate. You're pumped. Now it looks like we are going to sit together. We've been speaking about it. We've snagged tickets. That's the big breaking news. We have snagged tickets to UFC 325. So
Dane has pulled through with the tickets.
I said it was a little bit hairy, and obviously I did actually speak to the UFC people in Sydney, mate, that this is going to be on track anyway at the moment for the highest grossing event they've ever held in Australia. That's what this is going to be. No surprise, really, when we saw the ticket prices, which we have covered previously. But this is on track to become the highest grossing event ever held here. Obviously, headlined by Volkanovski. There's no real surprise there. And like I said, with the ticket prices that they are, and that's not just in Australia, I believe that's all around the world. No surprise, this is on track to be the highest grossing event. So very exciting, mate. UFC 325. And we are going to preview UFC 324 as well.
Can I quickly run everyone through your phone call to me when so Dane's number popped up in my phone. You know, we chat all the time, but he rang me and he said, "Merry Christmas, mate. Happy New Year. Hope it's all going well." I was like, "Gee, this is nice of him." I'm like, "Thanks, Dane. You too, mate." And then he goes, "Yeah, I've got you a present." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, like what's going on here?" And he goes, "Would you like to go to UFC Sydney with me?" And oh man, it was the best phone call I'd copped all summer. I was ecstatic. I was like, "Mate, you've really pulled through here. I can't wait to be sitting there side by side watching the fights and just taking it all in."
Yeah, I got him a ticket to the UFC and he rubbed it and he saw Volkanovski without me. So pretty on parity. I can't wait for next Christmas, Tommy.
He's a bit dirty. He's a bit dirty about the bulk meat. How good. Nah, man, I'm so pumped.
I do have one. I want to quickly see if I can pull it. I did get one Christmas present. That is the beautiful blue belt. I did acquire that just before Christmas. So officially,
Well
watch out, mate. I might not have any Muay Thai stand-up skills, but I can choke you out. So the blue belt finally coming.
On the ground.
There's lots of legs on you to grab. Yeah, so very happy, mate. Got the blue belt just before Christmas, so pretty stoked about that.
Well
Training's
done, man.
gone
That's
well.
massive.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, over at SBG, good bunch there at Leichhardt, so very happy to get onto that. Matt, now we thought, you and I have talked about this, we thought we'd sort of kick off the new year and the pod by doing some predictions, some true and false predictions for 2026. There's obviously plenty of chat. You mentioned before the Paramount era has begun now. Just a quick reminder for the Aussie fans, it's a little bit different in Australia. Foxtel and KO still have a pay-per-view deal. I believe it's at least 12 months. It may be 24. I'd have to check it. But at least for the next 12 months, you still have to buy pay-per-views like you always have. But you'll have to have Paramount Plus to watch the prelims, which won't be on ESPN or KO anymore, and the early prelims as well. I think you can still catch on Fight Pass. But basically, you need Paramount for all the fight nights and all that type of thing now. The ESPN content, which means KO content that's free, or at least free with your subscription, is gone. I believe down the track it will follow the model of the Americans. I've had a few fans. I've had Damien, one of our fans on Instagram, did message us. He's furious that he's had to pay for pay-per-views for the last 10 years and he's still not following this model that the Americans get to enjoy because Australia's already locked into this deal. So shout out to you, Damo. But that's just the way it is going to go here at least for another 12 months, if not 2 years. And then I think we'll come under the umbrella which the rest of the world, or a large part of the world's following, which is going into this billion-dollar deal with Paramount. I think we've talked about this before, but you've got Paramount already?
No, I don't, but I'm going to get it, obviously. But yeah, we've been a little bit smoked. I feel like you've got to have Fight Pass, Paramount, and purchase still on main event. So Aussie fans, I don't know, it's not amazing right now, but hopefully in a year or two, it's all under that Paramount umbrella. And if it's $8.95 a month or whatever it is, and you get main events on there, we are laughing. So hopefully we're on the home stretch, and we can join into what those American fans are enjoying and bring it on. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I think that is the long-term plan. So obviously Americans do start enjoying that now. New era for the UFC, so we'll see how that affects the sport here in Australia anyway. Not really sure just yet. Let's get into our predictions, mate, because there's a White House card, there's a Jon Jones, there's a Conor McGregor, there's a lot of stuff up in the air. There's, Alex Pereira, what does he do? Let's just roll straight into it, mate. Now, you very kindly put together this list. First one, straight off the bat, I'll chuck it to you first. Jon Jones. Do we see Jon Jones fight in 2026?
I'm going to say false. It's not happening in 2026. I feel Dana's not a massive fan of him. He's a little bit untrustworthy. Yeah, I'm going to say false. What about you, Dane?
Look, you're asking a guy who has long considered Jon Jones the GOAT, and I still do, but based on recent history, the Tom Aspinall ducking situation, and everything that's gone on, I mean, what has he got left to prove? Man, it's a tough one, because I really want to see him fight. He's still only 38, so for his size, he can go a couple more years, but very sadly, man, I'm going to have to say false. I don't think we will see Jon Jones fight this year. Breaks my heart.
We agree. We agree.
And then the next one, a fighter who's very close to our heart, who is used to breaking hearts and bags recently, Conor McGregor. We see Conor McGregor fight in 2026.
I'm going to say false. I think Conor's done. I think every UFC fan wishes, one more Conor fight, but I think he's done, man. What about you?
Yeah, look, this is not as hard as Jon Jones. I know he's trying to push for the White House card. Now, he's 37, a year younger, but just the stuff you see of him float around on social media, he's off the rails, mate. I did actually see an awesome video when Jose Aldo pulled out of the fight and Dana White and the matchmakers were at his hotel room. It popped up on my social media a few days ago. And just the way he handled the whole situation, even though he knew a camera was rolling, someone filmed it, he was so calm, man. You could tell how driven he was. He goes, okay, what's next? There was no, bullshit. There was no stuff, mucking around about what does this mean now for money or fight or call him a little bitch or a little pussy or whatever it was, mate. He just sort of took it on the chin and you could tell that was a driven Conor McGregor. What are we thinking? Circa 2014, 2015 when this happened. And just a totally different mindset to the guy you see now who's partying, goes off with bathroom stalls with different women and just is an absolute mess, punches old men in pubs and whatever the hell else has gone wrong with him, man. It's very disappointing to see. I think it's certainly false. I don't think we'll see Conor McGregor ever fight in the UFC again, nor does he have to. He's got so much money, mate, from his whiskey, from his endorsements, from whatever the hell else he does. I mean, I don't know if anyone endorses him anymore. But, yeah, I sadly, as much as I'd love to see it, I think it would be just a train wreck if we did. Mate, now one that is very recent, and we will sort of get into this, I guess, because it was supposed to be on this weekend. Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison. It was supposed to be the super fight, probably the title for the GOAT. Do we see this fight in 2026?
I think we do. I think Harrison, obviously, apparently she's got a neck injury and has had to pull out of this weekend's fight, which is such a bummer. I was so pumped for that fight. And Nunes has come back, the GOAT, out of retirement for this fight. And yeah, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for both of them. It's just a bit of an average situation. A neck injury is never nice. And they're saying it could be a 6-month kind of recovery. So I reckon towards the end of this year, I reckon we'll see this fight. Hopefully, I'm going to say true.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I'm going to go true just because these two are hungry and they want this fight. Now, what actually happened was she had to withdraw from a herniated disc in her neck, which required surgery. That obviously, the only reason Nunes came back, like you said, was for this fight. Now, I've heard discussions that it could be targeted for the White House, which is like a mid-year card, right? But whether she can recover or not, I mean, that sounds pretty gnarly. Whether she can recover from that surgery, I guess it all depends on that. But in saying she's got 11 months now to fight this year, so I think I can happily say true. And, mate, just on that too, we'll get into the UFC 324 preview, but what a bummer though, because that's the fight I was looking forward to most. Like, that was the fight. I was keen as for that one. Right, next one, our boy Shama, baby. Let's go. Alex Pereira fights at heavyweight in 2026.
True. I reckon 100% true. It's happening.
Yeah, who does he fight?
Maybe a Garn, whilst Aspinall is in the lurch, getting his eyes fixed. Or, I don't know, you put Pereira against anyone in that heavyweight division that's in that top 5, and it's going to be interesting and just to see how he goes at that weight class. But I think for his legacy, that could be the next step for him, and it's been rumoured. And yeah, imagine if Jon Jones came back to verse him, it'd be pretty mental. But yeah, I definitely think Pereira this year will fight at heavyweight.
Mate, just on that, because I have seen the Jon Jones response to Alex Pereira calling him out, and he posted on Instagram, he said, Jon Jones said, I beat a lot of legends from your country, my friend. I know you'd love to avenge the boys, but boy, would you be a good one to add to my list. Be careful what you wish for. And he signed off with Sharma. So, very interesting, mate, because that would be a massive, massive fight. And I'd love to see it. Does he fight at heavyweight in 2026? I'm going to have to go against you at some point. But in saying that, what does he do at light heavyweight? I guess I have to go true, right? Because what does the UFC want? Does he need to go up and make the heavyweight division great again? I mean, that's the problem with Tom Aspinall's future up in the air with that eye injury, and we don't really know what we're going to get. So I could totally see Pereira going up and doing it. We can't agree on all these, mate. Shit. But I think it does make total sense from a UFC point of view and from Pereira's point of view to do it. So, yeah, let's go true.
Yeah, sure.
Arman Sarukian becomes champion in 2026.
I'm going to say true. I think Ilya might sit out for a bit, and then Arman will eventually get his vacant belt title shot, and then he'll win, and then Ilya will come back towards the end of the year, and they'll have a massive fight at the end of the year for the belt.
I'm just going to say false, because it's up to the UFC now whether they give it to him. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this. Does Ilya Topuria end up coming back? I know he's dealing with a lot of personal problems. It's been pretty well documented, and he's trying to spend some family time and deal with legal issues and all that type of shit. But yeah, be devastated if we don't get to see Ilya back this year. But the latest I've saw is that he's trying to defend it in early spring or summer, which is in America. So don't ask me when that is here, but I imagine he's still trying to come back at some point this year. Mate, and then the last one we've got, which is our boy, which is something we have discussed before, Alexander Volkanovski retires in 2026.
Yeah, I'm going to say true, unfortunately. I can see it happening in Sydney. I don't know. I know he's saying the opposite, but this could just be all part of the plan. But yeah, man, I reckon true. What do you reckon?
Mate, no. I'm saying false. False. Alexander Volkanovski.
There you go. We disagree on one.
He has to say this because he's the type of guy who's a confidence fighter, and he's got to believe in himself and what he's saying. And he's putting this message out to the world and to himself that he's got a couple more fights left in him. But the fact of the matter remains is that like majority of his fights in his career have been a war, so he is coming towards the end. But I do think he gets this win against Diego Lopez, and then in my head, he only really fights one more time this year. I know he would probably tell you he'd like to fight 3 times, but I could see him winning this fight against Lopez, him fighting one of those top contenders who we have covered on here before. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he does take on one of those top contenders that like talking about. I don't know if there's like a super fight you can give to Alexander Volkanovski on his way out, but I just think he's got another 12 months in him. I just really do. I don't think this is the year we see Volk retires. If I'm sitting next to you next week, I'm going to be pissed off and he does retire while we're at the Sydney card. But look, I just don't think it's going to happen just yet. I think we've got another year of Alexander the Great, mate. One more year. Another term, please.
I'm thinking 5-round war. Volk gets his hand raised. Volk retires in Sydney.
Oh, so you think if he wins, he retires? Because I'm only thinking if he gets smashed, he retires.
But, hey, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm just yeah, I don't know. It's the vibe I'm getting.
They're coming for season ticket holders, mate, after that.
What do you reckon, Dane?
No. He's still got another bit left in him. And I think the only way I could see it really happening is if he were to get knocked out a la, Makhachev 2 type style. Like, if that were to happen, that's a world where I could see it happening. But if that weren't to happen, then, yeah, I just can't see it happening just yet anyway. So
yep.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. But look, firstly, we've got to kick off the new year. We've had, 5-6 weeks without UFC, which is very rare these days to go this long without a card. But we finally are about to get there. I just watched Countdown this morning. I'm ready. Obviously, we touched on it. Was supposed to be co-main evented by Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. This one is, of course, back in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. headlined by Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett for the interim UFC lightweight championship. We obviously discussed Ilia Topuria will not be fighting, so they do need a new champion. Paddy Pimblett, you'd have to think, is the long-appointed or anointed future star. I've heard, people compare his run, or at least his fan support, to Conor McGregor, which is sort of reaching those levels. He hasn't lost in the UFC. He's currently 23-3. He's coming off 2 back-to-back finishes. Michael Chandler TKO back in April 25. King Green back in July 24. So not super active. He's taking care of Tony Ferguson, Jared Gordon. His 3 losses all came back in 2018. He had a decision loss back in Cage Warriors. These were in title fights for the lightweight championship. Had 2 losses. Started his career with submission back in 2013. Obviously, he's put it all together. He's built a massive fan base, the pride of Liverpool. And I do enjoy watching him and that Conor McGregor hype. I know Countdown, he did a charity boxing match with this guy with the Down syndrome, and he got knocked out. He seems like a really nice guy, and I like watching him fight. He's probably grown on me more and more, especially in that last fight. What have you made of his rise, mate? Are you a big Paddy Pimblett fan?
Yeah, I'm a massive Paddy Pimblett fan, but I'm also a massive Justin Gaethje fan. So this is a hard one for me to pick. I rate both fighters. I feel like Gaethje's obviously been around a lot longer. He's had so many wars with the top caliber in that division. They both love to throw down. They both push the pace. They both walk forward. They're both not afraid to get hit. Paddy Pimblett always says, Scousers don't get knocked out. If anyone's going to knock out a Scouser, it's Justin Gaethje, because he hits like a bus. So we're in for a real treat of a fight. I'm leaning more towards Gaethje. I hope, just because of everything he's done for this sport in that division, it would be cool to see him have a little rise. He said that this is his last push towards the belt, to the title, and it'd be cool to see him get it. But also, on the other hand, Paddy Pimblett seems like a really nice guy. He's he's promoted for mental health. He did the thing with the Down syndrome kid, had the fight on Countdown. It was cool to see. He's obviously got a good heart. He's a family man, and his career in the UFC is just on the rise and beginning, and it's cool to watch that unfold, and especially when he seems like such a nice bloke. And yeah, man, it's a really good fight to sit back and watch as a fan. I would be happy if either one for both kind of opinions, really. So it's cool. What about you, man?
Yeah, look, just on Gaethje, just going through, obviously he's been an interim lightweight champion before, lost to Khabib back when he came back in 2020. I remember watching that fight. BMF champion, he lost another lightweight fight title against Charles Oliveira. And then who can forget the iconic moment, UFC 300. Bounced back in March with a decision win over Rafael Fiziev. Mate, I'm going Paddy. I think I'm going to start. I'm on the hype train. It always takes me a little bit longer to jump on it. I remember watching Conor's rise. It took me a while too, but I am believing the hype. I do also agree that the UFC is trying to make Paddy a champion, because I do think he has some deficiencies in his game, and I think he is getting built up a little bit still by the UFC machine, because he does have that fan support, and he's tapped into that sort of Northern England market, and they have that fanatical sort of fan support, and the fans are nutty. And reminds me of those. I've seen a lot of videos lately of like the Irish rise with Conor, and some of the press conferences he used to have, and how the Irish just used to go absolutely insane. And it's been a while since I think the UFC's had a guy like that, like getting that type of engagement, that fanatical support, like football hooliganism almost. Yeah. And it's awesome to see, man. Like, they're going nuts for him, and I hope that rises, because if he loses now, that gets taken down a peg. But I am expecting a war, because Gaethje, obviously, like you said, man, he's not going to lay down. He's a warrior. He's, what's this thing they say about him? He's your favorite fighter's favorite fighter. He just puts his heart on his sleeve, and he's just going to leave it all out there, man. He's an absolute warrior. I like Paddy though, mate. I like Paddy. I don't know. I haven't put a lot of deep thought into how he gets it done, but I just think he gets it done. Like, that's what I'm thinking. You could even just go the straight wit.
Yeah, I feel like Gaethje's not afraid to go into a war, obviously, and Paddy, we haven't seen as much of him, so this will be a test. Like, if this is a 5-round war and they both come out bloodied, and it'll be so cool. Like, as a fan, this is just sit back, crack a tin, and just watch this unfold, because it's going to be bloody amazing. How do I think this finishes? I think this will go to decision. Oh, actually, I'm going to say Gaethje KO in like round 4.
That would be huge. Absolutely
What do you
huge.
reckon, Dane?
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna have to stick with the decision for now. I'm just gonna go Paddy decision. But I'd be tempted just to take the straight win at this point, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to.
I can see that happening too.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a war, mate. Though it is a good fight to kick off the year. Like it's got a bit of everything. You got a big name with a couple big names. It's a shame that there's no co-main event, but it is an awesome card to start the year, mate. We'll just go into what is now, I guess, the co-main event. The second fight with Sean O'Malley coming off back-to-back losses to Marab against Song Yadong, best name in the UFC. It's going to be a cool fight, I think. I like Sean O'Malley, but he needs to get back on that wagon. Um, Obviously, amazing record before that. You take away those two losses to Marab, he was 18-1 before he lost his bantamweight title to him. Obviously, got North-South submission back in June 2025 now, so he's had a bit of time off. Song Yadong, Tommy, coming off a win over Henry Cejudo, decision back in February. Before that, he lost to Peter Yan, who we know is obviously a warrior and champion again now. Had back-to-back wins before that. So this is, I think it's good matchmaking. I want to see this fight. I want to see Sean O'Malley bounce back with a big knockout. What about you?
Yeah, I reckon this is Sean O'Malley's his return. He's going to come out. He's going to prove a point. He's going to make a statement. I'm going Sean O'Malley KO. I don't know what round, but I can just see it happening, and I can see him. This is a little resurgence for him, and to put him back in that contender kind of realm.
Next up, mate, we have the Black Beast, Derek Lewis against Waldo Cortez Acosta. Derek Lewis, mate, always good for a knockout, and he's actually coming off back-to-back knockouts now. Taliesin Teixeira back in July. He extended the UFC record for most knockout wins. He's now got 16, mate, so he's an incredible knockout artist. He's the last guy you'd want to walk down and see him in the street. Waldo Cortez Acosta, he's coming off back-to-back knockouts, first-round knockouts, back-to-back performance wins, and, mate, he did it 3 weeks apart. Ante Delija in November 1, and Shamil Gaziev back in November 22, and that was on that fight night with Sarukian as well. So back-to-back fights in November. Now he's fighting 2 months later. I guess when you're only in there for less than 5 minutes octagon time, you can do that.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy, right? That's an insane stat. But Derek Lewis, I love to see him, and I'm going purely on my heart, and I want to see Derek Lewis extend that knockout record to 17. What about you?
Yeah, man, that Waldo guy, he's a weapon. He's nothing to be slept on. I think this is going to be someone's going to bed, either yeah. Or. But like you said, Derek Lewis, he's a bit of a fan favorite. He's funny, and his carry on social media is all time. Like, you've definitely got to follow him. He puts up some pretty funny stuff. But yeah, man, I reckon I'm going to go Derek Lewis just because I'm a bit of an OG fan of his, and he's obviously had a heap of wars. But this guy he's versing is an absolute weapon. So yeah, that's gonna be a banger. I can't wait to see that as well. This is a pretty good card to open the year. Like, obviously we're missing Nunes and Harrison, but these other fights are also awesome, man. Like, it's gonna be a great day.
100%, bro. We've got Thug Rose as well. Obviously, big name, big following, Rose Namajunas. She is coming back. She's coming off a win back in June. Decision win over Miranda Maverick and lost to Erin Blanchfield before that. Had a win over Tracy Cortez. We haven't even talked about Tracy Cortez and Alex Pereira, mate. That's a wild story. She said, will you marry me on a plane? And a few days later, they broke up. Pretty wild stuff.
How long did that last? Yeah. Like a week.
I reckon it was 72 hours, mate. I don't know when it started officially, but awkward timing when she posted that video on socials.
It was very flooded on social media. I feel like everyone knew about it.
Well, she put that video up, like, on the plane, and 72, I reckon it was, like, less than 3 days later, he makes it, which was also weird, them, like, confirming it in a statement, and him saying, like, it's no longer happening, which is a really wild thing to confirm. Normally, I just sort of quietly let it die, but she posts this video that goes viral, and then a few days later, he's like, see you later, Sharma.
And, like, I don't know, how do they communicate if they don't speak each other's language?
I was thinking that. I mean, you have seen those videos floating around with Pereira, though. He can speak better English than most people give him credit for. I'm pretty sure Tracy Cortez can speak Spanish. Yeah. I don't know about her Portuguese, though. So, I mean, I guess they would have found a way. But funny either way. I mean, what a man. He wins everything, Pereira. Good on him. Sorry, go back to Rose. Sidetracked.
Ah, you're gonna get another t-shirt, eh?
With Alex and Tracy. Rose is fighting Natalia Silva.
Yeah.
Mate, she hasn't lost since 2017, so Rose has got her hands full. Yeah, it looks like just based on these records right now, I'll be backing Silva. Do you know? Obviously, we all know about Thug Rose. Do you know much about Silva, mate? You're going to be backing Thug Rose?
Yeah, Thug Rose all the way. She trains with Trevor Whitman, who is Gaethje's coach as well. So big night for their gym and their team. And yeah, it'd be cool. Cool to see Thug Rose win. She's been around for a while, ex-champ. Nah, big cool, man. It'd be a good fight to watch. She always puts on a good performance.
The main cards rounded out the featherweight between Arnold Allen and Jean Silva. Allen, Daisy coming off a decision win, hasn't fought since July 2024. Jean Silva obviously is the reason that Diego Lopez is getting this rematch with Alexander Volkanovski, because he was the guy who was on the end of that spinning back elbow knockout, that fight of the night. That was back in September. That's the one, arguably. I mean, how else did Lopez get this rematch that no one thinks should happen so quickly? So Silva's caused this timeline that we're on. But obviously before that, he was 16-2, mate. He was on an absolute tear. Was coming off 5 straight finishes in the UFC. So, people who are questioning Lopez, obviously that was a pretty big scalp and had to be a massive reason. I mean, what else was the reason that they got this rematch? That he comes back. I know Allen obviously had a lot of hype as well, but I'll be backing Silva to bounce back here, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, this will be an amazing fight. They're both really good fighters. Arnold Allen, he's been around for a while, always puts on a good fight. And John Silva, he's round with Diego Lopez before he obviously got knocked out, was that round there was just fireworks. So he always puts on a good show. I'm excited for that fight. What a way to kick off that main card. Now that we've gone through them all, man, this is a really good card. Like, I can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I suppose when you look at it on paper, and I was thinking when, the Nunes-Harrison fight got scrapped, I'm like, it did take a massive hit. But that's only because that fight was so big too. But yeah, breaking it down like we have now, still pretty good. And that's not the only thing too, mate. Because Davison Figueiredo and Umar Nurmagomedov will headline the prelims. So that is the rest of the prelims. I don't really notice too much, but that's gonna headline that first Paramount prelim card. So that's a pretty good way to lead into the main event as well. I suppose we should just get straight into it, mate. It's a good solid card. Where will you be watching it this weekend?
I have a christening. One of my best mates, Mitch, and his wife Mon, their daughter Hallie, and I am the godfather. So I'll be at a church with my suit on, and we've got a drinks on afterwards, so I'm going to have it on my phone in the corner, and I better not, but I will definitely try and catch the main few fights later on in the afternoon. I'll duck down the pub, but yeah, I probably won't end up seeing the whole card, but obviously for good reasons. What about yourself, Dane?
Do you reckon that in the House of God you could chuck the UFC on? I feel like it's God's sport.
Well, I was going to ask him because the drinks afterwards are back at his house, and I'm like, mate, do you want to part with $80 and just put the UFC on in the corner? But I don't think his missus or non-UFC fans would be impressed with that. So I might have to, I'm a bit outnumbered there. It's probably not the time or place.
Mate, you're the godfather. It's the least payment you could ask for, I reckon, the UFC pay-per-view. I think that's well within your right
Call
to
the
ask.
godfather rank.
Mate, I will be in Cairns, straight a long weekend, be with the missus, going up there, visit some family, visit all my great friends up in Cairns. Now, I would traditionally watch it at the Jack, which I've gone on this podcast before, one of the all-time great Australian sports venues, massive screens, beautiful just deck out the back. You can watch it out there. I will have some family commitments, so I will have to do a little bit convincing just to sneak in there, maybe just for the main 2 or 3 fights. But either way, I will catch the replay, mate. And then, of course, we know what comes after that, mate, because Volkanovski is back, baby, fighting here in Sydney the very weekend after. Back-to-back pay-per-view weekends, Tommy. It's pretty rare in the UFC. Let's bring it on. Thanks for joining me, mate. Bring on 2026, baby.
Can't wait. Hey, I just wanted to say, man, big 2025 for you and season ticket holders and starting the podcast, man. It's nearly a year old. I'm proud of you, man. It's good fun, and thank you for having me, playing a small part of it, and bring on 2026. The best is yet to come, and I can't wait to watch the fights with you in a couple of weeks' time.
Oh, very sweet and heartfelt way to start the year. Tommy, I couldn't do it without you, mate, and all your UFC knowledge, mate. We'll have to go and have a Muay Thai session soon. You can knock me out, get ready for your fight, who knows. But thank you very much to you and to all the supporters out there. Please like, follow, subscribe, give us a big support into 2026. Bigger and better. Bring it on. Let's get that bread. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.